What's up, everyone? Welcome back to this Python for Absolute Beginners course. So far, we've looked at addition, subtraction, and multiplication. For this course, we'll be doing the division. We'll look at some really cool things like how to do floor division and modulo. But let's start with the very basic division. Now, if you remember, I said that to divide in Python, you use the forward slash. You'll obviously not see that sign, the one that has a dot on top, a dot at the bottom, and a slash. So in programming, we use the forward slash. So let's say we want to divide 10 by 2. This is how you do it. So this is 10 divided by 2. And if we run these, we get 5.0. So that means 10 divided by 2 is 5.0. And let's do something else. Let's say from 7 divided by 3. And if we run this, we get 2.3333 and all of that with 5 at the end. Now, if you've noticed, division in Python always returns something called a float. I talked about these briefly in the last video. Now, float is any number that has a dot. So when the number has a dot here with some decimal points there, then that is a floating number in Python, and really in some other programming languages as well. So you'll notice that every time you are doing a division in Python, you're always getting a float. So it doesn't matter. Normally this should be 5, but Python will always return 5.0. And then for this one, that is well, this one is easy, so it's 2.333. Now let's say we do something else, like let's use a negative number. Let's say minus 8 divided by 4. Minus 8 divided by 4. And then we run it, so we get minus 2.0. Again, Python is returning a float. Now, what if you want to do the division, but you don't want it to be returned as a float? You just want to get the, you just want to round it up to the nearest integer like this and not a float. Then that's where a sign called the floor division. So I just write it down. So if a sign called the floor division comes in, and it looks like this. So normally, you have, well, so I'm just pointing an arrow to show what I want to show. Normally you use the single forward slash sign here to do the division like this. But to do a floor division so that you get only the nearest integer, you use double forward slash like this. So 2 forward slash for floor division to get the nearest integer, to round it down to the nearest integer. So let's try this using the example that we used up here. So when we did just 10 divided by 2, we got 5.0. Now what if we do 10 floor division 2? So 10 with these and 2, we run it, now we get 5. Right, so when we did the first one with a single forward slash, we got 5.0. But now because we are doing the floor division, we are getting 5. So that means anytime you're doing a division and you don't care about the decimal points, you always want to use 2 forward slashes. I will go ahead and show a few other examples, and then we move on to something else. So let's do maybe 10 floor division 3. And we run it, we get 3. Normally if we do 10 these and 3, should be 3.3333, but because we did this floor division, that's where we are getting only 3. And we can also try that with negative numbers. So let's say minus 5 floor division 2, we get minus 3. So no matter what, you won't get the decimal point anymore. And well, the exception is if you are doing it on a floating point. So let's say we do 7.8. So here we are intentionally using a point. So let's say we're doing 7.8 floor division 2, and we run it, we still get 3.0, and that's because we actually did a we actually did the floats number. That's what we are using to do the division, and so it's obviously knows that no matter what you are doing it on the floats, and so it will always return the floats result as well. So that's why we are getting 3.0. But if we didn't add to the 0.8, let's say we had 7 and we did this and we run it, we would get 3. So I hope you understand that. And it doesn't matter if it's the one in front or at the back. So even if we do 7 floor division, maybe 2.4, then we get 2.0. So still the same thing. If once you're doing a division and there is a float in the number, even if you use the floor division sign, you will always and always get a float like these. Now, what if we want to do a division, but we don't really care about the number of people that get it? We don't really care about the whole number. Rather, we just want to get the remainder. Let's say we have 10 oranges, right? So we have 10 oranges. We want to share these 10 oranges to, let's say, 3 people, right? So we are sharing these 10 oranges to 3 people. That would be like 10 divided by 3. So from the things we know up, we will get 10 divided by 3. Now, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I drew just 10 bars here, and say we want to share it equally to 10 people. So we're doing 1, 2, this is 1, 2, and 3. So 3, 1, 2, and 3. We get 3 here, and then 1, 2, and 3. You get 3 here. And then there's 1 remaining. So that means if we share 10 oranges to 30 people, they'll take 3, 3, and 3 each, and then there will be 1 remaining. But what if we want to do a division, but we don't really care about the 3 at the end? So normally, that if we do 9 divided by 3, that's when we will get 3. But because there's extra 1 on top, and we don't really want to get the whole number, we just want to get the remainder, then that's where a new sign comes in that is called the modulo. So it spells MODULO, and the sign is the percentage sign. Now, the percentage sign in some keyboards is just on the number 5, so you may have to hold down the shift and then you press 5 on your keyboard to get that sign. So let's say we want to do some exercises with this. Using this very one that we used as an example, let's run this. So let's say 10 instead of the normal division. If we do normal division now, so just do normal division and see what we get. So we do normal division, it goes 10, 3, and then points 3, 3, 3, 3, whatever. But now if we do 10 modulus 3 and we run this, we get 1. So you remember from the thing you're visualizing here, it means that it goes equally, to 3 people, and then there is 1 remaining. So that 1 that is remaining, so there's 1 orange remaining here, and that's what we are getting here. Now, this is mostly very useful when you want to check if a number is an even number or an odd number. Now, you know that even numbers are numbers that can divide by 2 without any remainder. So if we want to know if 10 is an even number, we can do something like 10 mod 2. So we're dividing these by 2 to see if there is a remainder. So we get 0. That means that 10 is an even number. Now what if we do 9 mod 2 and we run it? We get 1, which means that 9 is an odd number, it's not an even number. So you see how cool this is. So that means if you get any number, maybe something like this, and you don't know if it's if it's an even number or odd number, then you can easily just do these mod 2, and then you run it, we got 0. So this is an even number. But I guess if we just copy this over and maybe change this to something like 9, and we do this mod 2, then we get 1, which means it's an odd number. All right, that's it. I believe you have picked some things from this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.